it has been since the inception here, and that does not bode well for the Gulf Coast. We'll talk about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4 a.m. advisory. 29.5, 86 west, 95 miles to the southeast of Pensacola. This thing's about 50 miles south of Fort Walton Beach right now, so due south of Fort Walton Beach. It's only 50 miles offshore. Winds are at 80 miles an hour. There are some stronger winds at flight level. We've seen them over 100 miles an hour, but again, that's at flight level, a few thousand feet up. It's moving northwest at 14, and the pressure down to the lowest that we've ever seen it with Erin at 977 millibars. We go ahead and show you the hurricane warnings, which are posted now from Apalachicola to Morgan City. Obviously, hurricane conditions within 24 hours. Tropical storm force winds affecting Appalachia Bay and the Big Bend of Florida, but you folks around Panama City, Fort Walton, and Pensacola, not quite into that yet. We're just starting to see some of the stronger bands getting ready to move on shore. So Panama City, get ready probably within the next hour, hour and a half. Storm surge still at 4 to 6 feet from Apalachicola through Mobile Bay and into the Lake Pontchartrain area and the Mississippi Delta region as well. And the worst storm surge with this is not going to be with the onslaught of the storm. Remember, when it goes by you, that's when you're going to start to get the southerly winds. Now, you'll notice from some of the infrared satellite pictures here, what looks to be like an eye here is definitely taking a kind of an interesting wobble off toward the north a little bit more here, so that's kind of interesting. But, you know, when you get this close to the coast, you tend to see more of a wobbly track, and that's what we're anticipating with this, especially given its strength and current radar fix. Notice we still have a lot of squally weather in Dade and Broward counties. Tampa, you're not out of it yet. There's still some breezy conditions in these areas, but as far as the worst of the storm is concerned, obviously we take you north and west. A very well-defined eye. You also have some very, very deep convection around the center here. We've got a couple of bands, and this band in particular here is the one that's moving onshore now. So that's what I'm talking about. From Apalachicola up to Panama City toward Fort Walton, get ready for some very unsettled conditions, some real squalls to move on in. And if you kind of look at this thing, you see the eye wobbling just a little bit, and it tends to kind of do that when it gets this close to the coast. You can also see a lot of strange things go on. It can move north and west and north and west, and we're just going to have to keep an eye on it to see what exactly happens with this as we work our way on in time. Until 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, we do have tornado watches posted across the Florida Panhandle. Again, with the hurricane being about right in here. It's usually the northern side of the system that you see the tornadoes. You remember yesterday when the system was here, we had a lot of unsettled weather, tornado-type weather, Jacksonville, and on up toward Fernandina Beach as well. So the same holds true with the position. Tremendous amounts of rain here in the tune of about 4 to 6 inches. It hasn't been bad yet, but we are anticipating some very heavy rain with squalls to move on shore. And as we look at a lot of the computer models here down the road, we are talking about a potential here for bringing some of this wet weather right back into Texas, where they are still dealing with Dean's moisture today. I mean, look at this. West of Dallas, over through Childress, we're still talking about locally an inch of rain. So not even a real big break here coming up for what could be the moisture. But still, again, the track of this is uncertain, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen from about 24 hours on. But we do anticipate landfall within 12 hours, somewhere between Pascagoula and Pensacola. And all folks along the Gulf shores obviously need to be prepared for this. Again, this system is very close to being a Category 2 storm, given the pressure and some of those flight level winds that we've been receiving. We'll keep you posted on the latest on Erin and for you, and also let you know where some of this moisture is going for your weekend. Let's go back to studio and